As I grow older and I read more relentlessly, knowing that optimistically speaking, I have probably lived half of my life already, I've become increasingly choosy about the books that I enjoy. And so, A Most Dangerous Method by John Kerr is certainly not for you if you're a beginner psychologist, but it certainly is for you if you're interested in taking up psychology as a career. It's vital, indispensable, and a heavy duty book. And I think it would serve you well if you've read, all the Freud-Jung correspondences, all of Freud, all of Jung, um, and are curious to know their inspiration. The book is an intellectual history about a forgotten woman psychoanalyst, the Russian, forgive my pronunciation, Sabina Spielrein. She was a pioneer who influenced Carl Jung and also had an affair with him. She worked under Freud and she firsthand influenced Luria, Vygotsky, Piaget. She was tragically murdered in 1942 along with her two daughters by the SS, Nazi death squad. She's not mentioned in any of our textbooks. She did not receive the recognition she deserved until 2015 when during the opening plenary at the Congress of the American Psychoanalytic Association, uh, the title of the talk was The Clinical and Theoretical Contributions of Sabina Spielrein. But this book is also about John Kerr's interpretation of Carl Jung's and Spielrein's private symbolism. It casts light on the Freud-Jung intimate relationship and subsequent breakup. The word interpretation does not do justice to the extensive bibliography that has been cited and the anecdotes and actual letters and so on and so forth. The book took me 1 month to read. In fact, I put aside everything else to meditate on chapters in the book and reread them a few times. It might take a few longer to read, especially if you're not familiar with Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, Paul Briquet, Jean-Martin Charcot, Pierre Janet, Joseph Breuer, Kraft Ebing, Auguste Forel, Emil Kraepelin, Ludwig Binswanger, I always mispronounce his name, and my favorite, Eugene BLEULER, because I think his personality is the most gentlemanly personality I've come across in books. Anyway, so I give the book 5 out of 5 stars, and I would probably add another 3 just out of excitement. The book will give you a detailed account of the history of functional nervous disorders, along with a commentary on all of the people that I just named above. I found myself laughing at some of the anecdotes and quotes. I don't want to waste your time by talking about it, but they were just hilarious. The book also gives you information on the word association test, the naming of schizophrenia, the world's first projective test, the genius of Francis Galton, Alfred Binet, the cultism of schools of psychology, gender bias, and politics and science, mistakes that were made, people that were neglected, affairs that were had, physical and sexual, insecurities of ambitious scientists, lies that they told about each other, and how they sometimes sucked up to each other to gain favor, their emotional instability, their recognition or their need for recognition in America. They're judging each other and judging patients and having sex with some patients, all the blurring of boundaries between personal and professional, and of course, their brilliance as well. Someone needs to make a Netflix documentary on scientists at some point, not to criticize, but I think a lot of this still happens. Anyway, some parts of the book really made me upset, especially the parts that spoke about how scientists can be petty and unfair to each other, and especially to this particular woman genius. And I love the movie Don't Look Up. So there's a lot of things that came to mind when I was reading this book, and I saw that movie just before. Again, the book gives you so many references and so much further reading and fact checking that you can do by yourself. All of the citations run over or into hundreds, almost more than 500, I think. And if you're a serious reader, you may want to look some of them up. I can go on and on and on and on about this book, but I think I'll stop here. There's a link to the book below, which if you use at no extra cost to you, I get credit to buy more books to review. I also have now a newsletter that offers you self-help resources that have been verified by me. If you wish to subscribe to it, the link is below as well. Until next time, happy trails to you.